I've grown a lot of rare and interesting plants, but few have amazed me as much as Monstera Dubia. This isn't just a vining houseplant, it's a shapeshifter. From tiny silver leaf beginnings to bold fenestrated foliage, Monstera Dubia tells a story with every new leaf. Here are the most common questions I get about it, and my honest answers based on personal experience. What makes Monstera Dubia so special? The most enchanting thing about Monstera Dubia is how dramatically it transforms. When young, the plant hugs the surface it's climbing, like a totem, moss pole, or tree bark. These juvenile leaves are small, heart-shaped, and almost entirely silver, with dark green veins, which fools many into thinking it's just a typical shingle vine like Rhaphidophora cryptantha, or even a generic wall climber. But then the magic happens. Once it's well established and begins climbing vertically, the leaves start changing. The silver tones fade, the foliage becomes thicker, greener, and starts to develop fenestrations, those iconic slits and holes that monsteras are known for. Over time, the mature leaves can grow impressively large, with dramatic perforations and splits that resemble Monstera deliciosa, but in my opinion, look even more mesmerizing. Is Monstera dubia similar to Monstera deliciosa? They're from the same genus and share a similar leaf evolution, but I'd say Monstera dubia is more of a spectacle in how it transitions. Deliciosa gives you its iconic fenestrations early on with the right light and age, but dubia hides its final form. It earns its beauty. Deliciosa starts wide and tropical, dubia starts small, shy, and silvery, then turns into something wild. Watching that silver fade to dark green and those little hearts turn into deeply split, full fenestrated leaves is like watching a time-lapse of transformation. How fast does Monstera dubia grow? In my experience, Monstera dubia is surprisingly fast once it gets established. When I first planted a small cutting on a moss board, the first few months were slow, but once it rooted and adapted to its pole, it took off. Within a season, I was seeing a leaf every few weeks. Each one came out slightly bigger, with less silver and more maturity. By year 2, the leaves were double in size, and by year 3, I had real fenestrations forming, deep slits, big holes, and thicker stems. It goes from dainty to jungle king faster than you'd think. Can Monstera dubia grow without support? Not really. This is a shingling plant in its juvenile stage, which means it naturally flattens its leaves against any vertical surface. Without a pole or wall to climb, it struggles. If you let it trail, it won't develop mature leaves. To unlock the full mature form, I highly recommend a moss pole, wood plank, or even cork bark. Keep the climbing medium moist to encourage aerial roots to latch on. The more it climbs, the faster the transformation. Is Monstera dubia hard to care for? Surprisingly, no. I treat it like my other monsteras with some adjustments. Here's my quick care cheat sheet. Light. Bright, indirect light is best. Direct sun can scorch the silver leaves. Humidity. Loves it. I keep mine above 60%. Water. Let it dry out slightly between waterings. It hates soggy roots. Soil. Use an aeroid mix. Chunky, fast draining. Fertilizer. Monthly during the growing season with a balanced fertilizer. If you're already growing Monstera adansonii or deliciosa, dubia won't feel intimidating at all. What are common plants mistaken for Monstera dubia? When it's young, Monstera dubia gets confused with several other species because of its small silver leaves. I've had people mistake mine for Rhaphidophora cryptantha, also a shingler but doesn't fenestrate. Syndapsis pictus, similar silver markings but it trails, not climbs. Philodendron brantianum, silvery too, but the leaf shape is broader and lacks the dramatic transformation. Once dubia starts climbing and showing off its split mature leaves, there's no confusion. It's one of a kind. How big do the mature leaves get? Mine are currently around 12 to 15 inches long, but with proper vertical space and care, I've seen others grow leaves up to 2 feet long. These leaves get thicker, darker, and more deeply cut over time. It's like a totally different plant. I've had visitors who didn't believe my mature dubia was the same plant as the silvery baby one I had a year ago. Is Monstera Dubia worth it? Absolutely. Watching this plant evolve is like raising a mythical creature. Each new leaf feels like a reward for your patience. While Deliciosa gives you instant tropical vibes, Dubia rewards the grower who understands the long game. For collectors or anyone who loves plant drama, it's a must-have.